Hi everyone, welcome to the intuitive card reading for the collective for November 20th through 26th. We actually have a holiday this week, so I'm actually curious to see if we see anything coming up with, triggering of family or community issues, or maybe it being, a more positive thing. I'm very interested to kind of see how that goes. So I'm going to jump right into it. Excuse me, guys. Let me clear my throat here. You guys know the drill. Please like this video. Please, please, please. It helps the YouTube algorithm. I'm trying to grow on YouTube here. Please subscribe. That also helps with the YouTube algorithm, but also you get notified of when I'm putting out these. Right now I'm just doing the weekly and the monthly, and we're coming towards the end of the year, so I'll do a yearly reading for 2024. Oh my goodness, we're going into a universal year. What are we going into? Universal year 8. Woohoo! 8 is of the money, is of empowerment, of abundance. So I am so happy about that. It's going to be a great year for a lot of us. So I'd be really interested to see where the yearly goes. So yes, subscribe to this channel so you guys can find out and get notified of that video when that comes out. Probably the end of December is usually pretty crazy with the holidays, but maybe mid-December I'll try to get that out. So, all right, guys, same decks. I think I switched the order, not sure, but I obviously shuffled. So let's get right into it. Oh yeah, and before, one more thing, questions, comments, feedback down below. Does it resonate with you? Does it not resonate with you? Do you need more clarity on something? Let me know. Any of that is welcomed, but just be kind is all I ask, okay? All right, let's see what's going on this week. What do we need, guys? Shapeshifter, transform, and unveil your gifts. Okay, we need to be a little bit adaptable. We need to be pretty flexible. Not too much I can say here. This actually is coming through like pretty straightforward. By the way, I'm sorry if you hear a barking dog. I live in New York City, and sometimes I forget, like ambulances in the background and barking dogs and, cars on the street. I live right on a busy avenue. On a busy street, so I apologize if it's distracting. I hope you guys don't hear it too much. When I listen to the playback, if it's too distracting, I'll re-record. Okay, so apologies in advance. Okay, so this one's pretty straightforward. Shapeshifter, transform. This is just about being adaptable, being flexible. So right off the bat, it's making me feel like, we kind of have to be on our toes this week, that something is going to happen. So I just mentioned the holidays. So maybe something, falls through with the holiday, or something happens there where, we kind of have to, maybe you're supposed to bring the pumpkin pie, but instead you have to cook the whole dinner, or, Thanksgiving dinner, or whatever it actually is. Okay. So something feels that way. It does feel like it may be related to the holiday that's going to be dominating this week. We also kind of have an American holiday. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm calling it a holiday. An American thing, Black Friday the next day, obviously. So maybe you have to pivot something there. I'm not sure. Maybe some of you guys are working there on Black Friday, and maybe you have off for the first time. Now you have to, get your, now you have to work or something like that. I don't know. I'm throwing out examples that are coming to the top of my head, but I just feel like, yeah, the things that you thought were going to go seamlessly this week, not so much. But again, I don't feel like it's super negative. It just feels neutral. So it's just like, stay on your toes, be flexible, be willing to be adaptable, that kind of thing. And that will definitely save you this week, okay? Action needed. Action needed. All that glitters. Okay, we have all that glitters, which is, it can mean a couple of things, but what I'm definitely getting from here is, looking to the other side of things, looking at the things that are appealing to you is actually the best way I can say it. I think we actually had this in the need slot, or it could have been action needed as well, possibly in the monthly, possibly in the weekly. It would make more sense if it was in the monthly, but it could be in either. But in that instance, I felt like, going more towards the things that light you up. This is kind of like things that are appealing to you. Yes, things that light you up, but going towards, I almost want to say like going towards the light, where it's like go towards the things that can bring you more light is a good way to kind of say it. The things that will, I guess, light you up. I have to say, I'm reluctant to say it the same way, or it's coming through the same way, because that to me felt like more purpose. This doesn't necessarily feel like that. Yeah, it can. Going towards, the things that light you up is obviously what makes you feel alive. Usually that's connected to purpose, passion, that kind of thing. This is really about like going towards what can bring you to the light. So like a better example would be like if you're going through like a dark time, like moving towards something that lights you up more, that brings you out of the funk, like that kind of thing. That's what it feels like to me. And the fact that I'm actually picking this up, guys. Sorry, I'm just like messing everything up, but it definitely does look like there's an angelic face in the background, and that is what's sticking out to me, because it's kind of like, spirit is coming through like, guys, I read intuitively. Obviously, I call it the intuitive card reading for a reason. I definitely feel a lot of like angelic presence, a lot of spiritual presence here, higher power presence, universe presence, whatever, God presence, whatever you guys want to, associate that with. But it really feels more like that. So I'd actually be, I feel like we're more inclined to see more like higher power cards, connecting to that side of things more so than we see purpose or passion cards, but we'll see. We definitely got the Ignite Your Passion card. I think it was last week. And I definitely did feel like that was, we're starting to get a fire under our butts about, passion, purpose, doing things that light us up. But again, this feels like going more towards the light as far as like, moving away from darkness. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. And I mean, it doesn't mean that, this is a reading for the collective, so it doesn't necessarily mean that, it's not related to passion and purpose. But again, we're in the beginning of the reading, so we'll see what kind of comes up. But that's what I'm feeling. And there's a lot of people that watch this. This is a reading for the collective. That's the general public, the general population. So, not everybody's going to be going through the exact same thing, but hopefully what I said resonated with you, okay? All right, we have Divine Child. It is upright. It's in the light. Speaking of the light, innocence, purity, and redemption suggests a special connection with the divine. This is what I'm talking about, guys. I just mentioned it, and it's right next to it. I definitely do feel like that's just validation right there, is that Spirit is asking us to connect more this week, okay? Go more towards the light in that way, okay? So the Divine Child is connecting to our innocence. It's connecting to our divinity. It's connecting to our higher self, our soul, and that kind of thing. So there's not too much more I can kind of say about this, except that it is under the issue slot here. So that to me feels like we're going to be having trouble with it, that it's not going to feel easy to us. This could be, again, because, sorry to throw the holiday in it, but it's kind of like right smack in the middle of the week. And I know family is a trigger for a lot of people. And it kind of, it's not a normal, type week. I know not everybody celebrates Thanksgiving either. And, I know it's an American holiday, but this could also be, you're having an issue connecting because of the crazy busy week, just because it's really crazy. I know some people cook for, 12, 13, 20 people sometimes, and it could be a lot. So, just thinking about that is just super exhausting. So we might have an issue, and that's what Spirit is saying, okay? So, but if you can do it, connect to something bigger than you this week. Okay, we have challenge, work your magic. Okay, guys, what did I say? I knew it. I definitely felt with all that glitters card. We just have 3 cards in a row where it's basically saying connect to our magic, connect to our divinity. And again, it's under challenge, so we're going to have trouble doing that. There's not too much I can say here. I think I've already said it, but I think it's just so important reconnecting spiritually this week. And again, I don't think I have too much more to say, so I'm just gonna move on with that. Change. We have warrior, be fearless and stand strong. Oh my God, I love this. Guys, I have a special connection with the word warrior, with the archetype of the warrior, because I just love it. I know we all have the ability to stand strong and be fearless. Even if we do have fear, we do it anyway, right? And that's part of the warrior energy. So the fact that that's changing, that we're changing into that warrior energy, makes me feel like, and before I say this, okay, the V word, all right? If you guys have been following me for a while, I have a little bit of issue with some words. One of them is victim, because yes, there are victims out there for sure, okay? I can name 1,000+ crimes, okay? Did we all make a choice to maybe to walk down that alleyway when we were assaulted? Yes, we did, but that doesn't make us doesn't make it our fault. Okay, so it triggers me, guys. As you can tell, because I think people really mix up victim mentality versus actually being a victim. And I would never victim blame or shame at all. And basically, what I'm trying to say, I go on a tangent because it really does upset me, but when we're in victim mentality, which is more of a mindset about how we have no power, it's just the story that we keep telling ourselves that we have no power, and then we switch to a more powerful mindset, to the warrior mindset, when we go from surviving to thriving, which, by the way, that's the shift that you have to make on your own. So pushing people towards this is where I have an issue with the coaching industry a little bit, because we push people, and you know me, I believe in divine timing. After these 3 magical spiritual cards, it's even more apparent that it's about when the person is ready to do that, when the person is ready to take their power back. And that could be 3 months, that could be 6 months, that could be 6 weeks, that could be a year, that could be 2 years, etc. Anyway, you are starting to understand that you create your own reality and you're moving into the next chapter. So you are going from surviving to thriving. And that's the change. And that's what's the beautiful thing, okay? And it's all a process and everything is perfect and you're doing it exactly the way that it's meant to be done. So I feel like there's some people out there, I'm really getting goosebumps. Anytime I get goosebumps, I know you don't see me on camera, but that is just basically the angel saying, yep, what you're saying is absolutely on point. So I definitely do feel like some of you guys out there really needed to hear that, or need to hear that, because I think a lot of times we hear the opposite. Oh my gosh, you're stuck in victim mode, you're not doing anything, et cetera, et cetera. And that could not be farther from the truth, okay? We're ready when we're ready, okay? And you'll know when you're ready, and you're ready, right? Because that's what it's coming through here. Obviously, like I said, again, this is for the collective. So is this for everybody? Maybe not, but I definitely feel a strong majority, and whoever needs to hear this message, I'm confident is being reached to hear this message. So guys, we're moving into our warrior energy. So I'm just so happy. I could cry, honestly. Okay, let's go to focus here. We spent a lot of time on that because it's important. Oops, here goes the loyal heart card flying. Focus. Okay, so focus on loyalty is another word that I try not to use all the time, but loyal to me, because sometimes it could be in the shadow. I think most people use it in the shadow, where they're loyal to somebody without really questioning things. So that's why it kind of gets me a little iffy. It kind of gets me a little nervous. But this is in a positive way. Okay, so I'll let it slide. I'll use the word loyal. But so focusing on where our heart lies. Okay, and where where our loyalty is in that sense. Again, not betraying ourselves, not using loyalty in the way of betraying ourselves, or betraying, not questioning things, but in the way of if somebody has always been there for you, it's important that you're there for them. Okay, so it's almost like, honestly, it's more of the energy and vibration that would be the same for the receiving and giving gifts card, which is, I think we got it last week. We actually get it pretty often because I think it also symbolizes, it does symbolize balance as well, but it's also about, balance, the giving and balancing the giving and the taking. But so this is really about, if somebody did something for you, it's important that you reciprocate and do, I don't want to say do the right thing, because what is the right thing at the end of the day? Different perspectives, that kind of thing. But it's kind of like a tit for tat situation. If somebody, again, if somebody did something for you, it's important that you return the favor and that kind of thing. So that's what it feels like for this. Also, another meaning here could be, following our heart, and we need to focus on that. That could also kind of go into the action needed, where, going towards the light, going towards more love is where we need to focus, that kind of thing. So I just have like a really beautiful energy coming through. And again, I feel like this stuff is in a positive way. And I don't think there's too much more I could say about that. Okay, reflect, priest. Light attribute, facilitates spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. Guys, more spiritual, more connecting to your spirituality type cards. I knew it. Okay, so reflect, priest. So this facilitates spiritual commitments. Okay, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. This is just channeling your spiritual energy. There's not too much I can say about this. This is what we need to kind of reflect on. So because it's under the reflect, this to me tells me that maybe spending time figuring out how you can get more connected, where you need to be more connected, how do you do it, when do you do it, do you need a spiritual practice, revisiting things like that. So that's pretty straightforward as well. You have some straightforward cards, and they're not just from the Ascended Masters deck either. So okay, responsibilities. We have retreat into nature. Okay, so this is about taking a break. Makes sense with the holiday kind of going on. I think these are too close together here. Okay, I hope you guys can still see this. Okay, responsibilities, retreat into nature. So be around nature. Okay, I also want to point out loyal heart, green man, retreat into nature. Green is representative of the heart chakra. I know there's a lot of pink on this card. I think a lot of pink and purple, but really the heart chakra is represented by the color green, and so is nature, and there's a reason for that. So I do feel like these things are connected. So get out into nature, get out, go get grounded in some type of way. I use a grounding mat here in New York City. Even though I can step outside and where I live, there's definitely a lot of trees. I know it's kind of shocking being in Manhattan, but it's true. I have the pictures to prove it, I swear. But I do have a grounding mat for it. The winters get kind of cold. So I have it in my house. So, but this is really, that's kind of like a shortcut. So basically I'm saying that, maybe my Canadian friends really understand that. People in the Northeast understand that. But if you can actually get outside and get into nature, plants counts, spend time with your plants. But there's, again, not too much I can say about that card. Okay, money, finances, and career. Autumn, release the old and rest. Okay, guys, immediately when I picked that up, I got the feeling of surrender. Okay, and releasing the old behind. I haven't spoken about numerology too much. I mentioned earlier about the universal year that we're going into, which is an 8, but in this month, it's actually a 9. Okay, and so I'm not shocked that I'm feeling 9 energy with this card, because 9 is humanitarian, but it's also endings, right? It is considered the last number because then it starts all over again at 0. So it's about releasing the old, and the 1 is about moving forward. So it makes sense why this says and rest. So what can I say about this regarding money, finances, and career? It just feels like an ending is coming where maybe the old way of what you were doing is just not working anymore. Can I say, am I going to be bold and say some of you guys are quitting your jobs, some of you guys are getting laid off, some of you guys are leaving a long career? I'm going to be bold and say that, okay? Again, I know I'm reading for the collective, so there's a lot of people out there, so it's not going to be everybody, but it definitely does feel that way. I try to tell the truth, and the truth as I feel it. I'm not going to, leave out any information because that might be scary. But I definitely do feel like that's possibly the energy. And I will tell you this, so far, and we had a really great week last week too. So far for this week, I see nothing that is super chaotic, super shadowy, super not so great. I don't know how else to say it. So even with this card, I don't feel it in that way, where it feels very detrimental or chaotic or leaving you struggling or anything like that. So it feels to me that this is I don't want to say welcomed surrender. Is that the right way to say it? Is that guys, sometimes it's really hard interpreting energy, and how these what I'm feeling energetically. It feels like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go with it. Welcomed energy, like welcomed surrender energy, because so a couple of things. Number 1, you've been tired of maybe the job for so long. You've been hoping that you got laid off. You are tired of the career that you're in. like that kind of thing, where it's welcomed. When it comes to finances, maybe you're switching banks, something as easy as that. Maybe you've had the same bank for 10 years and you're now switching, something as like simple as that. Even though honestly, like it is kind of big that's like a big deal in my opinion. It's not that easy to switch banks because you don't know, if it's going to be a better one than your old one. Or making money a different way. Maybe some of you guys are, quitting what you're doing and starting to go freelance, and the money is maybe not going to be as steady, or you don't know what's going to happen and that kind of thing. So whatever it actually is, I will say I definitely feel the ending energy, and that rest energy is pretty potent. So what I mean by that is if it doesn't feel like it's looking up this week, don't panic. I do want to say that because because the 9 comes with the 1, okay? Because then the 1 starts the cycle over again. I'm personally not feeling that. I'm feeling like you need to take a break, okay? And retreat into nature and connect to a higher power. But don't panic. I just feel like I need to say that, okay? So don't panic. Everything is going to, and I know it's like right before the holidays, right in the middle of the holidays and that kind of thing, but it definitely does feel like it's going to go uphill. It's just, you have to rest right now. So don't panic if you're worrying about where the money's going to come from, like things like that. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, I know I kept saying don't panic. You can feel however you want to feel, but Spirit is letting me know to, accepting and surrendering is the best way you can navigate this energy. That's the best way I'm going to put it. So spent a lot of time on that one. But again, I see this as a positive thing. It's just about trusting, right? That's the word. It's about trusting that everything is going to be okay with some of these endings that are happening, especially in these very triggering areas, career, money, finances. Okay. That's big, guys. Trust me, I know. All that stuff is linked to your root chakra for a reason, right? And that is because that makes us feel the most grounded. So it's a big deal. A lot of people don't think money is a big deal in this, in the spiritual world, but it absolutely is. Okay, surprise, Treasure Island. Okay, this is what I mean. Guys, we have the 9. Boop, look at that. I knew I felt 9 energy coming. All right, so we have Treasure Island. All right, so what I said is that I didn't feel anything new kind of coming your way maybe this month. I'm sorry, this is a weekly reading. But we are towards the end of the month, but it's more about like focusing on the endings. But this Treasure Island here associated with the 9 tells me, and that it's under surprise, is that you will get a surprise treasure. So let's use the example I just used about maybe you're quitting your job and you're doing freelance. Maybe in, towards the end of the week, you land like a huge client, but you had all, those 7 days to kind of like panic a little bit and not really, knowing what's going to happen, et cetera, et cetera. But then you land like a really big client, or there's prospects of landing a big client or something like that. So it's almost like Spirit is throwing us a bone where kind of foreshadowing that everything is going to be okay with some type of treasure. So there's that. So this could also equal, maybe someone finds out at Thanksgiving dinner that you lost your job and they give, they decide to loan you some money or something. Like there is treasure at the end of the rainbow, always, but there's some treasure in, this surrendering, this ending. So you will get a highlight of that. I won't lie, it might bleed into December. But and I'm saying that because this really made me feel like there's a rest component, okay? So that means it won't come right away. So it might be delayed for some of you guys out there. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. All right, so what's going on with our social life here? Is this the right card? Yes, it is. Okay, we have Avenger, we have Friends, we have In the Light, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Okay, so it definitely does feel like seeking to evoke, I don't want to say revenge because that's not what avenge means. Seeking to avenge. Maybe that's what I'm going for. So this is balancing the scales of justice, taking it into your own hands in a way, but because it's under Friends, it makes me feel like we're trying to protect our friends. We're trying to do something that protects our friends. An example that's coming up for me is you hear a rumor about a good friend of yours and you shoot it down immediately, right? And you try to stick up for them, or, speak their side because they're not present for them to speak their own side. That kind of thing. So it just feels like you're sticking up for the people that have been there for you, which I love that it's under loyal heart, okay? Because that is actually kind of part of it, is like, you guys are being each other's avengers. Can I say that? Does that make sense? And you're sticking up for people. You're on their side. You're being loyal to them in that, like I said, in that positive way. So I definitely do feel like there's something going on this week where you're going to defend somebody or have their side or have their back in some type of way. And again, it doesn't feel like it's like, do I want to say toxic, where it's like you're just sticking up for them to stick up for them, but you're sticking up for them because they're speaking the truth, or they're telling the truth, or they really are a good person, or, what's a good person, what's a bad person. Like I said, perspective, but you guys know what I'm saying here. So I definitely do see that, and it helps you grow closer with the particular friend or friend group. So I see it really as a positive. So, okay. And then what's going on with romantic connection? Okay, we have yoga. I think we either had yoga in romantic connection or under important, and I don't remember which one, and I don't remember the energy that the card gave off, but this to me just feels like that it's important for us to be present. It would be interesting if it God, my memory, guys. My memory, oh my gosh, it is so bad. But I think if it was under romantic connection, it was about being present. But that's the energy that I'm actually getting, is that it feels like it's important to be present in your romantic connections, and to be zen, to look at the relationship in a more enlightened way, like that kind of thing, and kind of like weaving yoga principles into your relationship in some type of way. I don't know, maybe some of you guys you'll actually be taking like a yoga class with your significant other. I don't know, that's pretty specific, but could be, who knows. I've seen stranger things, but this definitely does feel like bringing the embodiment of yoga into your romantic connection in any type of way. And for my single people out there, bringing it into your dating life. Okay, what is important? So many things are important, right, guys? Okay, Sheila Master, be graceful and move in action. Okay, this is about moving slower than normal, which I agree with, especially with all of these things asking us to connect with a higher power, higher self, connecting more to the light. So that makes sense for me. The shapeshifter, I didn't feel any type of chaotic energy with that. And that's why I think you guys are going to be really great with being adaptable and being flexible this week, because you don't even give yourself time to panic. You're just going to be very zen. Guys, I'm not lying. Look at all of these cards. They're just like very good. Like they're just like very, God, I don't know if anybody even uses the word zen anymore, but like that's the best. Peaceful, maybe. We're getting the energy of peaceful without even pulling like a peace card, but peace doesn't even cut it. It just feels like you're just very calm and responding accordingly. That's the best way I can kind of say it, is you're responding accordingly. You're not being reactive, because the Shaman Master tells us be graceful, right? Don't overreact. Don't be super reactive. Be calm with your decisions. Don't make any crazy decisions, like that kind of thing. Like, based off of fear or panic or anything like that, which I think is so great, guys, because like I said in the very beginning, I said, I wonder what kind of cards we're going to get, because I know a lot of you get triggered by family. Okay. And so a lot of you are going to be triggered. Because let's be honest, we didn't all have, such a great childhood, but this makes me so happy, because it really does feel like we've hit like a maturity level. Because that's almost kind of what I'm getting here, is like connecting to like that more mature self, part of you, and really diving deep and connecting to that. Makes sense, guys, because all week you're connecting more to your divinity, you're connecting more to your soul, you're more zen, you're more calm. So it pays off, is basically what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's look at health and wellness. You know, this is the one that I always look forward to. Shocker. Okay, what did I say? All of these cards are about higher power, connecting to it. It is so, so important. We got another one under health and wellness, and that makes me happy. So the best thing that you can do is really connect with your spiritual health this week, okay? So connecting with something bigger than you, spending time in prayer and meditation. This actually makes sense because this is going to come out on Monday, but I'm recording it on Sunday. If you guys follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, which if you don't, hit the subscribe button, please. You know that the daily card was meditate. It's super simple. Okay, I was like, wow, this is really a simple message first, you know, but sometimes it's about the basics, okay? A lot of spirituality is really about the basics, and you need the basics because we get so wrapped up in everyday life and we just forget the basics, right? So this is what it's saying, all right? And so meditate, prayer, you know, that kind of thing, connect with nature, that kind of stuff. All of these things, guys, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, this is kind of like really simple stuff. Yes, there's a reason why it's coming through, because it's going to pay off, okay? So really, really simple, connecting with a higher power, okay? Overall outcome, we have saboteur, but we have it in the light. Amazing. Highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. Guys, if this was in the shadow, I would be confused, but it came up in the light. So that means that we're done sabotaging ourselves. We're done reacting in a way that doesn't serve us anymore. We are not sabotaging our future by making quick decisions. We're not sabotaging by not allowing the surrender to happen. Like, I just feel like we're super, super enlightened this week. I just can't believe it. Like, it just feels like we're hitting a level of like spiritual enlightenment. I don't know what else to say. Now, I'm using this word like pretty loosely. We're all still human, you know. I don't think we're all going to become the Dalai Lama overnight or anything. Even he has a shadow self, right? And has to work on that. But it just feels like you guys are going to be, for those that feel like they're really worried about the holiday and being around people that might trigger them, I'll just say this: you got this. Like, I have no doubts that you got this. Like, the maturity that I'm feeling, the enlightenment that I'm feeling, and it just feels like we are at a next level. And I want to say this too: it almost feels like this year has really put us through things that have really gotten us here. Okay, so it's actually not so much, yes, you know, we're doing the work on ourselves, personal development, shadow work, you know, that kind of thing, but it also does feel like it's just the natural order of how, I use the word mature, of how our soul is maturing and how we are maturing as higher self, as people, as a community, as family, as friends, as, you know, human beings, you know, beings in general. And so it's just such a beautiful thing to see, because it's almost like our experiences have really shaped us. And I know, because I've been reading for you guys for so long, for the collective, is that I know we were in between, in that limbo for a long time. And so anytime we get those limbo cards, we know that you were in between lives. So something happened, you had an ordinary life, and then something changed, and it has changed your life forever, okay? And so you're not the same person anymore. And this proves it. It's like this week is proving that we have changed, okay? And we have changed into that warrior. So that's such a beautiful card up there. And they're all beautiful because, like I said, I don't feel any chaos. If something is, I don't even feel like the change that's happening, like I gave the example in the very beginning, is chaotic. It's not even. You take it like a pro. You adapt like a pro. That's all I can say. So I think I've talked too much, but I just want to say you guys should be really, really proud of yourselves. Okay, my little warriors out there, my beautiful soul warriors out there, you should be really proud of yourself, because this week proves how far you've come and what you're made of. Okay, so I will say that. So I didn't mean for this to turn into, you know, a pep talk, but it is. So you guys need to be really proud of yourselves, okay? So the collective is doing well, and I love to see it. So guys, have a wonderful, wonderful week. For those that celebrate the holiday, happy Thanksgiving. Sending lots of love to you. Amazing, amazing job. And I'll see you guys next week. And we're coming to the end of the month, so I will be doing the monthly very soon as well, okay? All right, guys, have a beautiful week. Have a good one. Bye.